Now let's take a look back at our timeline. So far, we've got everything starting in frame 1, and it's kind of a natural place to start. When we make a new layer, we get a keyframe in frame 1, and we use that frame 1 to lay out our content. But as we start adding animations, I don't necessarily want to have all the animations happening at the same time. You can see it's a little cluttered. Everything's just kind of jumping at once and moving around. So let's go back and take a look at those keyframes we have at frame 1. We've already seen that we can select a keyframe and move it. Let's try a layer without an animation first. I'm just going to collapse that button layer to get it out of the way for a moment, and then we can see our other items down here. And I'm going to go to my photo montage layer. In a layer without any animation on it, with no motion tween, we can just click on a keyframe and select it, and then go back to that selected keyframe and grab it and move it. Now we'll leave behind a blank keyframe at the beginning because the layer can't be completely blank at the beginning. So we've got a placeholder, and our photo should appear down here at about frame 12. You can see we start our movie now without the photo, and the photo comes along later. We can do a similar thing with a motion tween, but what's really nice is we can move the entire tween. Let's try it with the camera icon. I'm going to take the camera icon layer and just click anywhere in the tween. That selects our entire motion tween span, and now I can just click and drag, and I'm pulling that span down, moving the first frame and leaving behind a blank keyframe just like we did with the photo montage layer. In doing so, I can stage when my animations will appear. Now, I've been wanting to fix this camera icon layer because it's flying off the screen and I wanted it to fly on. You might have noticed that with the layer locked, I can still manipulate the tween span and I can still manipulate a normal frame span, but I just can't make any changes to the items inside the span. So I'm going to unlock that camera layer, and let's set the end point at a different spot. Right now it's ending off the screen, but I'm going to pull it over here to the other side, and we'll have it end on the screen in the upper right corner. There we go. Now when we look at our timeline, we can see that the background appears first, my animations for all of my labels come in, and only then does my camera actually appear and start flowing into the screen. Let's move our button label animations around next. I'll just go open up that button folder so we have access to all of those animations. And you might have even been wondering before why we bothered to separate these out into separate animations. When they play right now, they're playing all at once. We could have just lumped them all together and animated them in one layer. Well, by separating them out, we can now grab each separate motion tween and put it anywhere in the timeline we want. So what I'm going to do is grab the home button tween, just click anywhere in the tween. I'll click and move it down a little bit, and I'm going to set it up so that that animation will start after the camera animation runs. I'll grab the portfolio button, and I'm going to do a similar thing, but I'm going to pull it down just a little bit more. And you see I'm going to stagger the start of each one of my buttons. So on the screen, they'll appear to follow each other in. We'll do exhibitions next. Pull it down and stagger it just a little bit. And then finally our contact button. And now if we preview our timeline, I can drag through here, see my camera come in. There comes my first button, the second one, the third one, and finally the contact one.